Come
All
on,
right.
man.
All right. All right. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the overview. I'm
I
ChanManV, joined here by Ster and Jerma, of course.
said my name first.
What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much.
I
Just
can
just
barely
a
even see
long
this.
pre-show.
Just hanging out.
Yeah, we had a long free show for those of you listening to the podcast. You guys aren't privy to the pre-show, but you got to check it out live to be able to catch in on the fun that we were having. But figured we'd get the show started and start talking about Overwatch. You know, obviously the show that the overview is about each week, and we have a big break that's coming up soon. But we've had a ton of events like leading up to today. Actually, we have an event right now where our guest Minstrel is currently playing Night Enigma. His team Hubris is currently down 1-2, but hopefully he'll be joining us once that's finished. But lots of events. I don't know if you guys have been able to catch the events, but there's been like 4 straight events like the past 3 or 4 days.
Lot of events.
Yes, it's the same teams too. It's
To be honest, by the time Overwatch is back up, I'm not going to even remember what events there were. Unfortunately,
you mean events there were before this or
before the
Yeah,
break. I
of
mean, we're
course.
going
I
into
mean,
a big
nobody-
break. Like,
nobody cares, right? Like what happened before.
You'll remember.
Nobody
I'll
will
remember.
remember. Like seriously, come on.
You act like you're gonna forget it all.
Legacy. Yeah, I know. But you know what I mean.
No, but there's definitely been a ton, and I'm sure Mitch will have some comments about when he comes back. Personally, I think too many events. Like it, you just kind of once you watch Hubris and Nine and make them play each other for like the 20th or 30th time, you're just kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, it's like, is it
Not
special
enough
anymore? It's like,
events seemingly like Friday, Saturday, Sunday every week. And it's the same teams. Just watch them scrim. They do it all the time.
yeah. That's another thing too. The scrims are being
Yeah.
telecast too. Joshy for a while was casting all of them. I don't know if he still does it or not, but he was doing that for a while too, and so you could watch those even on the weekdays. But it's cool that Go To Gamers, it's cool that ESL and those organizations are doing events. But right now, I just get this feeling it's like a race. You know what I mean? It's just like who can get that event out as quickly as possible, and I guess get some cool prize or some decent prize pool going here. And I have a feeling it might be a negative thing. There might be negative impacts to having too many of them so early. So the break will be nice. I actually think the break will be cool because of that.
Yeah,
It's
I
funny,
guess
last week we talked about like how bad a break would be. We were like, oh,
Yeah,
good.
we were. I know. That's true.
you
I
were the
still,
one.
here's
Yeah.
here's what I think, right? I think that they may have, and this is my opinion. This is just my opinion. You can agree or disagree. I think the
Disagree.
beta. Let me get my point.
You just forgot everything.
No,
The
Um,
beta?
I actually kind of did. No, there it is. Okay, so the beta I think came out too early. I think
Came
that
out too early. Okay.
too early. I think that they wanted obviously to have it for fall, but I feel like if they wanted a not September, a spring launch or a spring into summer launch, it probably should have been closed beta into you can order, maybe pre-order beta type deal a couple months before launch. And I feel like they wouldn't need to do this break this.
That's kind of what they're leading into.
Yeah.
Maybe
Mhm.
not confirmed what's going to happen with the beta, how open it's going to be, who gets invited or not. But when it starts back up, I guess you're saying that's when they should have started it in the first place.
Yes, because then
Yeah.
if they'd be closer to launch. They might have had a lot of their systems in place that they wanted to have done in the next month or two.
However, they did get the feedback they wanted to get. They worked on the matchmaking. They've got a lot of the stuff. They're working on Torbjorn, they're working on Bastion, they nerfed Mercy, they're nerfing Widowmaker. They learned what I think they needed to learn. And at first, too, I was like, a break is probably going to be bad, but it kind of is going to reinitiate the hype for a lot of people who are so far gone from not caring because they can't play that it's like no one can play. I can let it go because no one else is like taunting me with
Yeah.
their playing capabilities. And then maybe when it launches, we'll all get back in and be able to have some sort of founders pack because that's close enough to launch that I think I would not be surprised if there was a founders pack buy-in type of beta at that point.
I mean, I don't
Really?
disagree with what they
Okay.
did. I don't think it's like necessarily a bad thing. It's just the question is, what would have I rather have seen? And it probably, if they want to do this kind of paid total package that they want to do, maybe it would have been better, at least in my opinion, to like actually do the like kind of what Battlefield did back in Battlefield 4, when they just had like a
Every
month
Battlefield
before.
has seemingly done this.
Yeah, well,
Since then,
they
yeah.
do like a beta for like a month or two before, and then they get the game out and then everyone can play it when they want
So,
to.
I mean,
There's a lot of problems. People couldn't play. That was a lot of people's problem. Is people were getting frustrated that they didn't get an invite. It was very closed. They were bringing in streamers and YouTubers. It was a very big concern for a lot of people.
Well, what if is it really just the issue of just calling it a beta? Because they needed this, right? They needed people to play the game and load test it, and just getting all this feedback was actually important to their process. So what if they called it alpha? It wouldn't have mattered, right? If it was called alpha versus a beta, people would still be where they are.
I don't think it would have mattered. And people,
I don't think
It's
not really, but just the fact I would have rather have seen, because when you take the game obviously away from a lot of these competitive guys, they're gonna be like, oh crap, like okay, well now we can't play for like a month or two. It throws everything off guard, I think, a little bit.
But I think there's, for the people who are pissed that they can't play for a month or two, there's more people that are happy, like, yay, I'm not that far behind anymore. They have to take a break. I think
that's good.
this was a good response to the amount of people that were upset at how the beta was handled in the first place. It kind of sets everyone back like to another equal.
I think so.
Let's just cool off, wait for the next phase.
Or have it under NDA,
Have it under NDA.
like the initial closed beta wave.
It could have been.
What, and
yeah.
just not cast or just not stream it or anything?
No streaming, no YouTube, just
That's
just
really
play it.
hard to have that many people under close or under NDA.
Yeah,
then
it
don't
is.
invite
I
you.
mean, they could have had it even smaller and just stuck to friends and family list, but I'm not upset either way with how the beta's gone so far. For me to say
what?
they
Yeah.
could have done this, they could have done that, I think it's gone very well from what they set out to do and how they've gone about talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Jeff Kaplan talking about it again.
We do.
Yeah,
We
we got
did.
another video, man. I mean, that's
Nice segue. Yeah, so they talked about a handful of things. Pretty much all the stuff that people.
Yeah, well, let's break it down. It's the first thing they talked about was free heroes after launch, right? Added via patch and not DLC. So once you pay the $40 or the $60, you get all the heroes, not all the skins necessarily, but all the heroes, just forever. So whenever they come out with new stuff, you'll get it, which is really
I
cool.
always assumed that was the case. Maybe they would have had expansions, but that's something that people were just pissed off that they didn't explicitly say. And when a company doesn't explicitly say at this point, you just assume, well, they're going to charge us $40 per hero.
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
So it's nice for them to
surprising
actually be able to say.
It was a little surprising to me, just because, not necessarily surprising, but the track record that Blizzard has, they usually do, if they have a pay for a game, they don't do free, everything is free. They don't do that, usually. I mean, look at all the other games. We talked about this a week or two ago. All the games, Blizzard does expansions. They do expansions. That's like what they're known for.
If you want to look at like the Crusader and Diablo, we added a new character.
Then we added a new character. We added a bunch of new areas, and we upped the level cap, and it was like $39.99.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So the question
it's cool to hear
remains:
that.
how else are they going to get money?
It's
If
gonna
they're
be
not
skins.
slinging heroes, they're not slinging maps. Skins is
Yeah.
pretty much like confirmed. They have to.
It'll be
Don't
skins,
have
weapon
to, 'cause it's already
replacements,
$4, but they're gonna push it.
patches you can put on your weapons and stuff.
Yeah, there's
It'll
gonna be a million skins
tattoos
for
or
each of
something.
them. I mean, you can imagine. Just I could think of like 20 skins for each of those characters, and people are gonna buy them.
Even the Origins edition that announced a couple of the skins obviously doesn't have a skin for every 21 heroes. We got these 21 heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually
They
said
still
that in the
have
beginning of the
them.
video.
Yeah. I don't know why we both laughed at that when we heard it, but I just
Well,
love.
they've hammered it. They've
21
hammered it home. They've hammered it home so many times that it's like it's almost like a 21 heroes. 21 heroes. You just hear it every time.
How many heroes are in this game, dude?
21.
They got like
think.
20.
But it sounds like they've already been thinking about new heroes too, right? And they've even said that there's some some Easter eggs or things.
I was
within the
gonna say
maps,
too. One of the next characters, probably if you go into Hanamura, the arcade, you
Mhm.
have the big poster of Diva. Everyone's seen, but there are 3 posters.
Let's go find. Should
One
we find that?
person.
Should we find that
If
poster?
you could find it.
Here, let's go. Let's go. Let's go in
There's
the
3
game.
posters of one person that one she's not actually in, but it kind of looks like an album cover or something, and they actually have a date on them that I think is January 1st, and then the year
Whoa.
is XX because it doesn't show the year.
I'm gonna have to look at that when
New
this-
It
hero,
kinda looks
January
like a Gurren
1st.
Lagann sunglass chick babe thing.
chick babe.
I don't know.
No, it's cool. It's cool that they're not going to separate the community. They're not going to split people up. You're going to be able to play with the same amount of people in the same places that everybody else can. Everybody
Well, 21
hates that
heroes.
in all the other games that have map packs and expansions like that. It just splits everybody up, and they definitely don't want to do that.
Well, it's just more value too for that initial, the initial price point that everybody's been complaining about.
Yeah, I mean, I see it kind of as what CS:GO did. CS:GO has you pay in, and then eventually here we're going to introduce maybe some way to get skins and get in-game items and in-game stuff. I don't know if they're going to do necessarily hats or miscellaneous cosmetic items, but they'll definitely do new skins and new weapon models probably. I would assume that was something that they wanted to try. So that's cool. They're kind of following that. I don't know if they'll have a box. That was one thing we talked about earlier, Star. Like, are they gonna have a box?
They're gonna have
What, like a what?
I've talked a lot about this. Like, on one hand, I'm super happy that they haven't announced a box because that's, well, I mean, when you talk about the Steam integration, you're pretty much saying we're gonna have gambling in our game.
Right.
We're gonna have like illegal gambling to help our esports scene. But like,
Illegal
you kind of need it to boost the esports scene. But then the more I thought about it too, they don't have the Steam framework, the community market, the kind of trading API that I don't, even if they had a box, I don't think you would get to.
Well, it's the virtual currency aspect of it. Like you
Yeah.
need to be able to create that tradability, like you said.
Everyone
and-
has a box now. Blacklight Retribution,
Everybody has a
had
box.
a box. Hearthstone has packs, which are pretty much the box. You gotta have a box, dude.
Gotta have a box.
You gotta have a roll a dice box.
Roll a dice box.
Great. Or a pack, or
Yeah.
put your thumbprint on it. It goes like, and it like near and here, and it like beams in like 2 or 3 different hats.
All right, let me start.
gonna happen.
This
You heard it
game
here
here.
first.
I don't know if it's gonna happen.
No, here's the UI. I can see it right now. You just paint a picture with me. You got it's like a cool design. It's like lightning and stuff over here. There's like electricity on the left, and it's a container, and on the container is a handprint. And you like have to your character in game goes like and it's and then like
Are you
it goes
describing like that talk fast and no one dies game? Is that how you like it doesn't blow up?
Yeah, that's how you make sure you like diffuse it.
Yeah, and if you don't get it right, you lose your Overwatch beta. That's the first thing that happens once you.
I'll be honest with you though, like systems like that keep people interested because it gives you this almost like you said gambling, this mindset where like, oh, I could buy a couple packs and maybe I'll get one of like the rare skins. Like it keeps people going, because if you get one of the rare skins and you get one of the items, you feel like, yeah, I got one of these, and you can put it on and you can show it off, and people like that. People
Well,
get it.
it's also got tangible value too.
Yeah.
You can go and sell those things if you want.
Well, that's what I was saying. That I think
Yeah.
it would be much harder to sell those
doesn't have value though.
because of they don't have the Steam Workshop and all of that back
Sure.
end that Valve has. So I don't think it would get out of control, but it is still important. Like a lot of people, I could see the argument that a $40 title is kind of shooting itself in the foot for Overwatch. I could see that. I don't really care too much about that, but you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you don't have some sort of box. We're just gonna call it the box.
The box.
Opening
sort of-
boxes. What's my word?
Way to get rarer things.
It's just the surprise element. I mean, just the
The surprise
opening,
the
packs kind of thing.
Yeah.
It
Alright,
is like a
so-
surprise element. It is pretty cool.
All right, so
And
let's
they've
get
been
into
very
this game
tight-lipped
real
about
quick.
the progression, so
Yeah, they have definitely.
we'll
All right,
see.
so let's go in the game. Let's go find that thing. Let's
You're
go
in the
find
game?
Hanamura here. Let me see. Let me show the game real quick. And
I'll give you
actually,
some directions.
Okay, so we should just do, I guess, AI,
That's
right?
fine.
Something like that. And then
You do bot.
Hanamura.
Go against one easy bot.
That's right. He's gonna kill me. Inside the arcade, he's gonna
Yeah.
kill me.
Jeff also said in the that video that some people in the beta have even noticed a couple of characters inside the game on the maps. You guys looking at the maps, which is odd to specifically mention. Like, yeah, our next character is on a map somewhere. Find it. You know.
Oh shoot, we're defending. No.
It's gonna be the guy in the limo.
Did I actually pick? Hold on. Let me do this.
He gets out of the limo and he's a new
Right
guy.
now.
He's gonna
Did
get out of
I
the
pick
limo,
to
and it's
be
gonna be
defending
like
here?
the president.
Is it just
He'll be
random
like-
whether I defend or attack? Oh,
I think so.
that sucks. All right, let's try one more time. If not, oh well.
Actually, yeah, I think it is right.
Even
No,
against
I
the
don't-
AI, is it random?
I think
I
it's
never
AI.
even noticed if it.
It's either always defenders or AI, because I remember many times going into AI and it always being on defender.
Oh, I've definitely attacked out of AI before. Temple
I
of
could join
Enemies.
your game if you're desperate. I don't know.
We'll try one more time.
That's
Jeez.
fine. We
Oh,
got
I'm
a-
defending again. Oh, it sucks.
While do you figure this out?
Yes. Anyways, we
The
don't
other
have to
thing
do
is-
this.
You keep fiddling with it. We can. They did say you were upset, Jerma. I didn't pay too much attention. They were saying they wanted to adjust the scoreboard. People keep talking about how the scoreboard doesn't have enough numbers, but they don't want to go complete full number. They said that.
No. He said he wanted to. He said they were looking at how to improve the on fire medal system.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I personally, I just, it's just the on fire system to me is I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just not. It's weird.
Okay. I mean, it's okay,
Especially,
but it's just
more
too little information.
some of these tournaments when it has like all these on fire. Everybody seems to be on fire. There's like 9, 6, 12. Okay, yeah. There's at least 9 people that play the game.
Well, for competitive, yeah, competitive. Once they get the push that kind of like gets the winning momentum,
Everybody's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
yeah.
How am I
have felt since the beginning that they wanted to add some sort of cosmetic to the fire, where you could have different sort of radiances or something.
Yeah, which
I
is,
know
I
that's
mean,
something they wanted to add banners, like Diablo 3 has different character banners. I know they've specifically mentioned that as well, so I just thought maybe that's.
but what is the fire really? I mean, it's not like in Overwatch that you're not snowballing when you're on fire. You know, it's not like League of Legends where you're getting a ton of gold and you're like, all right, now you're starting just to get a crap load of items and we need to slow this carry down or whatever, or else it's just over in the game.
You're just
a
doing
weird
good.
system.
Yeah, you're
Here's
just
the
doing
thing,
good.
though.
So it's just like,
You might not even be doing good if you
Yeah.
stand on the cart and push the cart. You'll light on fire, dude. Eventually, because you're getting enough score per minute to push the cart. And here you go.
all right, I'm in Hanamura now. Let's look for it.
I think I would just rather see a more, not necessarily traditional, but if they want to keep the on fire medal system,
Mhm.
then maybe have like different, maybe have it like different flames or different colors or different. Not necessarily. It already kind of does that, right? Like it changes a little bit, doesn't it? Or is it just static? You just on fire.
It is always the same.
It's
fire.
just the same
all
fire. There's only one
It
fire
doesn't
right now.
grow or anything. It's always the same fire. So
Is it-
there's
I don't know,
one
maybe-
poster down by the right door, right before you leave. I think.
Okay, the big door.
No, all the furthest right exit.
Maybe like a little small silver one is like, oh, that person's doing good, and like the
Okay,
big.
there's the diva. There's the big diva poster. Are we looking at that?
No, right. It's like
That's
I can
side.
see.
Are you talking about the side exit here over here?
No, the smaller posters. There's very small posters that, like, underneath the diva, I think is one of them.
Okay. All right.
And right on the left of the exit to the door, like you walk through the door.
Oh, right through the door. Okay, right here. Yeah, right here.
It's gonna be one of those onions.
Okay, this one.
One of the.
You're so stupid. Dude.
I'm gonna have to wait a couple of seconds.
This one
It's
right
funny,
here.
I know like exactly where they're at. Yeah.
Okay,
That
so
one.
there's the January
Yes.
1st XX, and there's a girl.
Yeah.
A female.
Zoom
If
in.
you go where you
Zoom in.
spawn, looking down the stairs,
Mhm.
look down the stairs and turn immediately 90 degrees left. There's
Okay.
2 posters of the same person on that one.
Okay, so this girl.
But
Okay,
they're
yeah.
different posters.
Oh, okay. So there's one where she's in yellow here. Yeah, it's the same date. There's another one here
Same.
too. Okay. So
Those
you
always kind of gave me the vibe of like, oh, we got an album dropping. There's the date. But we already have Lucio, so I don't think it's going to be a musician or anything.
huh? Okay.
But
So you're suspecting those are going to be the new ones? Okay.
yeah, I think you're looking in the wrong spot again. It's at the top of the stairs.
No, you're talking about these right here, right?
There's even more up the
Okay, up
stairs.
the stairs. Okay. There's one over here. Okay.
There's a lot of them. You wouldn't put that many, and like
They're like
It's not
everywhere.
the same girl though in all of them, is it?
it's like so stylized that I don't think it has to be the same girl.
Okay, the
Some
diva
of them
ones.
are
Are there any more over here?
But there's at least 3 different ones of the same person.
Yeah, there's maybe even 4. One, this one.
It's
This
obviously.
one.
I'm just gonna cut your comment in half and say it's obviously a Murloc being at it.
Murloc.
No, I was gonna say, where's
Sir
Thrall?
Finley. They're all. Okay, yeah. There's 3.
So-
There's 3 of them. All right, so that could be a
And
new
even
character.
having Jeff tease that people might have noticed on the map, like.
Are there any other maps that might have any Easter eggs? I'm trying to think.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think.
I mean, everything everyone's pretty much already found, and nothing has hinted to new characters. Besides on Numbani, there's the Axiom poster, and Axiom is kind of a robot
Yeah.
that there has been concept art of it shown before in line with all of the other characters, so that's another possibility. Axiom like design of the robot's really cool. I'd love to see that character in the
No,
game.
that definitely would be great. But continuing on with some of the other things, even just I guess continuing with the scoreboard talk, he did say that they weren't going to work on anything else, right, except for the fire, just tweaking the fire. And we talked a little bit about scoreboard before. I was thinking a little bit more about that discussion too, like when we were talking about it. And of course, we kind of wanted some kind of scoreboard. But
For their development cycle, I don't think they want to give up on this fire yet.
yeah. Well, I mean, you can have the fire. I mean,
It's
you can still
already
have
new
the
to them. It's
fire.
only been there for like a month, so they're going to iterate on it until it's clearly not working. And I don't think it's clearly not working yet. It's okay.
Well, that's what I was saying. That I little silver for like you're doing all right. Maybe like red or blue if you're doing like like the one on the team, like the guy with the most. But I'm essentially describing a scoreboard. You know what I mean? Like how do you make different looking fires and make the fire system better without it just being a scoreboard? You don't. Guy with the gold flames doing the best. Guy with the silver flames doing in the middle, and guy with the red flames doing second place. It just is a scoreboard. That's
I mean, but how do we react to that? We just try to kill the guy that's their best. I mean, it just basically says who's their best player, right? In a weird way.
Yeah, yes.
So you just try to kill that guy, right? I guess. I mean, I just don't know what the purpose of it is, honestly, except for making you feel just a little cool whenever you're like on a 15 kill streak or a 20
what would
kill
be the
streak.
point of seeing how many numbers you have, how many points you have? Because what do points even mean in this game? Even if you were to go to EF2, like backstabs are 2 points. That spies, is he doing better than everyone, or does he just get more points than everyone? Air blasts give you a point if someone's on fire. It's like
it's a similar purpose, sure.
Yeah, did Lucio just stand near hurt people, or is he really doing well? And I think it's hard, no matter what system they use, to gauge something meaningful. And the fire system is
well, fire systems obviously is also just a temporary thing too. Like a scoreboard's the entire representation of how things have gone. You know what I mean? Like you could be on a 25 kill streak and been on fire, then all of a sudden you die like 2 or 3 times in a row, and then you're not on fire anymore.
Yeah, because you're dying a lot, so you're not the problem anymore, I guess.
Okay.
So it illustrates what I think they want to in a little bit of an awkward way. I don't think there's a perfect solution for what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
All I want is more stats.
I wait more stats.
The game for it to switch to the final page to see my stats, and there still aren't even enough of them. So I wish there was some way to.
Yeah, the final page. I wish I could see it too. Yeah, he does mention the cards, right? Another thing that Jason talks about, the ending cards, and one thing.
Jeff, by the way, you also have
Jeff. I said Jason. Oh my God, it's Jeff.
He is a caster.
Oh my God, my bad, Jeff.
Jeff
Oh my goodness.
Jeff Kaplan.
Actually, gosh, there's
Today's
too many
just
Kaplans, man. There's too many Kaplans in our. Oh my God, that was a big mistake there. My bad, Jeff. Gosh, that was
Fucking moron.
Fuck you.
Whoa.
Man.
We just got real.
We just got real. No, but he does mention the cards too, right? And
Yeah, you talked about the card.
the one thing he pointed out was mainly adding objective score to, or at least that as being a possibility.
At the Blizzard BlizzCon, they call it. It's a convention that they hold. And BlizzCon, the cards, they actually did have objective score cards that were already working in the game that were a little bit weird, but I mean, they do have the code there for it to be done. It looks like they've worked with it before, similar to the kill feed has been in the game before. They have had a scoreboard in the game before, and they're really just like flip-flopping things around to see what they're happy with.
Well, that's what's interesting about the kill feed, because in that video he makes it sound like they haven't created it yet. Like the way he was talking about it, but it was there at one point. So
they have had one, so I don't.
Yeah, that was.
He was vague about it, and I don't know the word I'm thinking. It feels like they could easily turn it back on for people, but at the same time, I was saying to you, why bother? When the game's going to be down on like Thursday,
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Why bother? Build a new version of the game so people can have a kill feed for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll be able to vote for the other team?
Vote for the other team.
Mm-hmm. For the cards.
Only vote for the other team?
No. I mean, at all.
You shouldn't be able to.
I do not think you should.
Why? Like, what's your reasoning behind that?
Actually,
what's your reasoning behind that? Actually,
every single time that I've really played this game, the end slate cards come up, and either half the time you want to support the person that's on your team, or you're so mad at somebody just dumping on you the whole game that you're like, I ain't voting for that guy. That guy was like, that guy like sniped me over. You're not getting my vote. I think it's better to have 4 of your teammates pop up, because then at least everybody, if they want to try to have more people feel good about themselves and care about the game, I think the 4 people on the team, there's more option to give people more props that are on your team rather than have like 4 people. Sometimes what happens if you get rolled, 4 cards pop up and it's everybody on the other team.
Red, yeah.
And it's just like, fuck that.
I know, like we didn't even get a card.
We didn't get a card.
We all feel terrible together.
I mean, you might end up seeing cards then when you get rolled that bad. Like you get a card, you got 1 kill.
Yeah, no, exactly.
the least valuable.
But I mean, at least that'll be like, see, guys, at least I got the kill. I did something. I don't know.
Especially if there's one person on your team with the 4 cards. A lot of times, also what happens is one person on your team is one of those cards. The other 3 are the people on the other team. So who are you going to vote for?
Of course, the guy on your team. Yeah, of course.
Every time. And even if there's somebody else that did much better, you're more inclined to vote for that blue card than a red one.
I want to know the internal stats of how many games have been played versus how many cards have gotten to legendary. Like 5 people.
It doesn't happen.
It
really doesn't happen.
No one will ever. The biggest divide is like voting for people on your team or not on your team. There's usually not a consensus.
Unless somebody has just an amazing kill streak. That's usually about the only stat that I think will turn people to get legendary.
But then again, it's a team game. Do we really want to be rewarding that one
How many times have you voted for yourself?
That as well.
Is that a question or
yourself? You see your name pop up and you're like,
the first day or 2 when I was playing, you just kind of see your name and click on your. You just.
I don't even think your name should pop up for you.
I never vote for myself unless somebody else votes for me first.
Well, there's the problem.
I'll never vote for myself if it's at 0.
I like my own card popping up because sometimes that's the only way to get the stat of what you did.
Well, what if they put all the cards up for everybody, and it was anonymous,
and then they shuffle them again, and then they redeal them.
No. Like it would be like a system where you pick a couple, like, okay, no one can see me voting. All right, I picked that guy on the other team did all right. I don't want my team to think I'm some kind of dick and not voting for that. And then like on both teams, like cha-ching, like the 2 cards come out, and like who the 2 most voted cards on both teams.
I think it would be nice to show the 2 most voted at the end, but I don't think they should hide votes.
Blizzard, you can hire me now.
I agree with that. That is nice. But if you hide the votes and you don't hear the ding ding from people voting, you will forget.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you will.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, you will. That's true. What about adding more cards? What do you guys think?
More?
Yeah, just maybe like
More
one. What about
than-
having 5 instead of 4? There's so many different categories for these cards. It's
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't see the need for it, but I don't
Hmm.
see the harm in it. It's just you have to pick a number, and if no matter what number it is, you're going to say, should there be one more or less?
it's just one of those things where this is
Well,
kind
no.
of like the final
Okay.
scoreboard type of thing. So why not just try to show?
At this point, if we're talking all of these things at once,
Hmm.
if you're showing 5 cards, you're only not showing one person per team, and that guy is really sad.
Oh, okay. If you're talking about
You
yeah,
either have
yeah. If
two
you're talking
guys
about team
or, like,
only,
3.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
But if you do have everyone, then
Put all
sure,
6.
4 isn't. Yeah.
what's to say you can't put all 6 up there and have it be anonymous?
Yeah, I think that would be fine
What's-
too.
And then it could do like a shuffle little thing, bang, here are the 2 tops on both teams.
That's dangerous, dude. I don't. That guy.
That
can't
ain't
even-
dangerous. Because then guess what? If it's anonymous, let's say it is anonymous, right? Let's say, why am I pointing? Like, let me tell you.
Let me
tell you.
let me
Let's
tell
say
you
so.
something. You're like talking to Jeff and them.
Is it anonymous though? Because it's going to show what character it was, and you know who was playing what character.
Yeah, but does not necessarily. It's just votes. What are you talking about? You're talking about.
We're getting
I
into
think
really
you're talking about different things here, right?
Are we on 2 different playing fields right now?
I thought for a second maybe you meant who got the card is anonymous. Like you don't even know.
No.
Voting
That's-
is
Okay.
No.
Like,
But yeah, at first I thought you were talking about voting.
There's
Photo-
there's just a stat.
Because
What
voting
happens?
right now is anonymous.
yeah, no, I'm saying keep it that way, but just make it so you vote for your own team, and the top 2 cards
Yeah.
on both teams show up at the end.
Yes, and I said that was a good idea
Yes,
like 10
yes.
minutes ago.
Because well, then we're in
Yes.
agreement.
Yes.
There we go.
All right.
All right, not a bad
Right.
idea. I think that's,
All right.
a,
I
that's a
mean,
pretty cool
again,
idea.
we are looking at the first iteration of this bizarre card system that's not been in a game before.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so what else did he talk about here? He talked about music toggle, which I enjoy the music, so I don't
But
think
that's just music toggle is just a
Yeah,
base.
we're
feature.
go- we're gonna have more
I would
options.
never do that. I would never turn it off at least. Kill cam.
I've heard that a lot of their options and their
Well, an option
audio
menu is an option
TeamSpeak
menu.
talking to each other is very like put together. Like not everything is fully done with that, and there's a couple options. I asked Jeff specifically about being able to put your mic on a different line for like when you're recording videos, so you can have a different line for voices in game that don't go over the gameplay. Technical shit, and he said, "Yeah, that we're planning on that."
Oh, okay. That would be nice, actually.
That is left to be done with all sorts of everything there.
Yeah, other little things too. Just kill cam options. Just again, I think that was probably the last of it. I guess the question is, what do you guys want to see after the break's back? I think they mentioned a few things. When they announced the break, that let's see if I can bring some of it up. Spectator mode is obviously one of the things I feel like will be changed quite a bit. But what are some other things that you guys want to see?
Jerma?
I want to see more game modes. I want to see not just payload and control point.
Yeah.
I want to see more interesting things.
I would not be surprised. The rate at which they've been showing new maps, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a new one. I don't know if it's going to be a new game mode, but
That's what I want.
I don't know. I'm excited to see
okay.
what the character changes are, what they do to like Mercy, because I'm kind of sick of Mercy, so I'm interested to see what they do with just the core of the game.
You're sick of Mercy. Okay, so changing the
I am.
balance of the game. So I mean, you're talking.
They have confirmed we're working on Torgun, we're working on Bastion.
Yeah, they're working on those two for sure.
Those changes will be in when it comes back up. I don't really care about either of those characters. I like Bastion, so I hope they don't diddle with them too hard. But I'm just curious to see what changes with the game. That's what I love seeing. Like when you first get into Overwatch and you try and learn all the characters and the damage numbers and figure out you get to relearn a little bit every time there's a change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I'm curious about that too. The spectator mode too, I think, is going to be really. I mean, at least the bugs will be fixed, but I'm just wondering. it's going to be I'm expecting a pretty big redesign of the whole thing. So I'm definitely excited to see that. And I'm pretty sure they've been working on it, and they probably could show something now. But why show something now when you have
now
6
now
weeks,
is
right?
definitely the time where don't show anything.
Yeah, just
Don't worry.
down.
Just
Don't
like
hint
let
at
everyone
anything.
forget
Down.
about Overwatch until you excite them again.
Yeah.
In a month or
If they make some big announcement right now, that would be.
Mhm.
Hey,
why would
we
they?
got our
though?
new spectator.
Hey, check it out. 2 more days.
In 2
Holy
months.
shit! This new character.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll have a huge wave too right when they come out. That would be pretty cool if they came out with a
Yeah.
big wave. So I was having a conversation with somebody I was playing with the other night, and we were speculating how many betas do we think, how many people do you think are actually playing right now, or people have access? We were
don't know.
guessing.
I could guess.
What's your
I have
guess?
no
I
idea.
don't know. 3 to 4 billion.
We were thinking 1,000. Is that high or low to you?
That
That's
almost
pretty
sounds
low.
high to me, but then
Really?
again, I have
Wow.
to consider other regions and people. Like I have seen such a narrow perspective of the beta because
Yeah.
the beta started. I played nonstop, got to like a high MMR, and I only see those people. So like for me, it's like there's like 30 people playing this game, right?
30.
I didn't even like they had the open beta, the more expanded open weekend. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
see any of those people.
No,
Still just
no.
matched against the same guys because they didn't have any ratings or anything. So it's just like
that's true.
I couldn't even say.
I think it's at least more than at least a few thousand. I think
I think a few thousand. Okay.
if you take into account other regions,
Hmm.
you have to. I mean, it's not. I mean, NA. If we're just talking NA, I can't. I have no idea. I mean, they've been so quiet about it, about how many that
Yeah.
there's no way to know.
I do see the same people all the time, and I'm not nearly as good as you, Ster, but even at my
You
level, I
have
see a lot of the same people.
At this point, a lot of people have kind of like slowed down playing and aren't playing as much or just stopped altogether. So how many were invited versus how many are still going is I couldn't even.
Yeah.
That's a number. When
Yeah,
I was
it
a
is.
kid, I guessed how many jelly beans were in a jelly bean jar. It was like
Dude,
600
those are awesome.
something.
Yeah.
But I
Wow.
cannot do that again. Yeah, I know. I
You
used
got some of those left? Can I have some?
No, that was a long
What'd you
time
win,
ago.
dude?
Still got them.
Fucking jelly beans. I got the
Jelly
jelly
beans.
You
Jelly
got the
beans.
jar? That's
Yeah.
lame, man.
How long does it take to eat them? Jelly beans take like 15 years to eat.
Jelly
anyway.
beans are disgusting. I didn't eat them. I just there's like 1 or 2 flavors that were good I remember eating, and everything else was like the black and the purples and the.
Jelly beans are awesome.
Don't put the purple jelly beans in
You
over.
didn't like the Jelly Belly? Remember Jelly Belly had like the container with all the cool flavors, buttered popcorn,
Yeah, I
toasted
remember that.
marshmallow was
Mhm.
the best.
Mhm.
And
Hated
then you
it.
had like watermelon. You didn't like any of those?
Hated it. Hated it. Hated it.
Crazy, man.
Come
You are
on.
Crazy.
Before
Toasted
all the
marshmallow
questions
jelly beans.
we're gonna get are about jelly beans, I think now is a good time for viewer questions. Not much has happened. We don't have a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
and
true. Well,
and we
one
did
thing I
have
do want to
hour
mention is like what we're gonna do for the break. So with the overview, we're gonna take a break too. I mean, there's no point in having a weekly talk show when there's no game nobody's playing the game. There's no events. There's pretty much nothing going on except for
There's not much to talk about.
unless people are doing fun fan art and things like that. That's about the extent of it. So we won't be having the show until the beta comes back.
in the same way, I don't
so-
think Blizzard should be talking about Overwatch while it's out.
Yeah. There you go.
There's no. Just
Yeah.
wait until you get that one spark of we're back.
Yeah, exactly. So Jeff can take a break too from those videos. Doesn't have to do 1 or 2 that we were hoping for each week. So he can just focus on
It is what
doing
it
those
is.
things. What?
Yeah,
Right.
take a break and like make the game.
Yeah. Also, one thing too,
That'll
guys.
be a good break.
One thing too, guys, with the show, we hadn't gotten a chance to really introduce the segments. I mean, it'll give us some time to develop some segments that I've been wanting to do too. I do want to incorporate just a lot of the cool fan art and all these just content makers. We're all content makers here, so I do want to spotlight some content makers and some cool videos, just our favorite videos, our favorite fan art, and things like that. Have you guys submit some to us, and have a little bit more community interactive with you guys. So expect some of that in the coming year or two from the overview. But I want to make sure everybody's clear on what we're going to be doing just during this break. But it's going to be nice. It'll definitely be nice.
10 to 20 years.
Yeah, 10 to 20 years. We'll come back. Oh, the overview.
I'm not going to be that old in 20 years.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's good you
I
young.
will.
I will. No. All right, let's just take some questions for now. Again, we're still expecting Minstrel to come and stop by. They're having some kind of epic match here with Not Enigma. It's 2-2, and this is the final
One
half.
match has apparently lasted 2 hours.
Yeah, it's been
Couldn't have seen it coming.
pretty crazy. But let's take some questions. The way you post questions, if you haven't already, is post it to this website here, or just at least this post on the ChanManV.tv website, and I'll read them out to all of us. Okay, let's take a look. You can tweet them too. You can tweet it to @ChanManV or at Jerma985 or at Nietzsche.
I don't read Twitter. So.
You don't read. Oh, you loser. Okay, actually, we have a bunch of bunch of them.
Cheddar Puff, either one of you gentlemen. Cheddar Puff.
Cheddar Puff. Well, he's got the salt, man. I don't have any butter over here. So, okay, first question. I wish I could sort this by time.
I don't eat on stream.
Gosh, everybody's. Anyways, I'll just start from the top. Is there any truth in the rumor that Blizzard have built their own oil rig in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean to host servers for international invitationals? Also, will they be having a Metal Gear-esque sheep drop system on it?
Yes.
From John Irwin.
That is all true.
A rig?
Yes, that is totally true. They have a satellite in space too. That's going to be perfect for everybody. So the question is basically, will they have more centralized servers for?
Hope so. I hope they have a lot of servers.
I have no idea. No idea. I haven't heard anything.
Hope so.
Yeah. Paul Yoon from Toronto, Ontario. 2 questions. What do you think about the debates thrown around about changing player size? And such as 5 players per team instead of 6, or a TF2 style 24-player server for casual, maybe with drastically nerfed ults. Okay, that's the first question. What do you guys think?
Before the game came out, I was a pretty big advocate for they should drop it down to 5 players.
Yeah.
Here's the problem I think you run into. TF2 competitive has always been 6v6, and I think that works because you need a medic, and that kind of feels like there isn't a person playing. Overwatch is the same way, where I can see where you need that extra 6th person to have a medic, and they're not really like doing too much to make things crazy. But it's like ultimates in Overwatch and everything over the top crazy, that the respawn rates, 6v6 can feel like a lot sometimes. I don't know one way or another anymore if I have too big of an opinion on it, but I think you need that 6th person because there are supports in the game, even though they can revive everyone and should be nerfed. I think it works.
In my opinion, is I think it would be cool to have different, just harp back to different game modes. You know, maybe have like a crazy, 10-on-10 game mode or something where it's just nuts. Like that's what you're doing. You're queuing into that like on purpose.
Even less if you
Or
had like some
3-on-3.
more focused 3v3 something. I think there's a lot to work with, and the game is.
The game changes
No, the game totally changed.
I'm just saying the game is
balance.
free. Even if you
time for a
remove
lot
one
of stuff to
person.
grow.
Yeah.
You could have all kinds of different events too, like more of arena-like events, right? If you had only like 3v3 and
let's damage boost our Widowmaker against their damage boost
oh,
Widowmaker.
no.
No, it wouldn't work in a
Tell me it's
3v.
not that easy.
That wouldn't
I
work
think
in
that's how it would go
3v3v3v. No, it wouldn't.
3v3v3v3v.
That in a 3v3v3v.
Battlefield,
Triple Genji.
Triple Genji
whatever that
3v3.
game was.
Yeah, it could be pretty sick. I could see some cool maps too, like really small maps that people could make. That would make for interesting, just combat and things like that. A second question from Paul Yoon, pertaining to the issue of ults. What do you guys think about raising the cost, lowering the rate of charge of ults in order to better balance the game? We talked about this last week.
I think we've mentioned this every week.
Totally all for that. Okay, Tristan McChristian. This is Rexian. Okay, yeah, this is the first question, actually. Been a long-time fan of Jerma and Ster. First-time viewer of your stream, Chan, but you seem cool. Oh, thanks. Anyways, do you guys plan on postponing the podcast? Yes, okay. I think we answered that. I should have read it first.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Let's see. Do you think, from Joseph Chiapetta, do you think that TF2 Christmas update is going to suck as much as last year's? Wow.
You're just reading every question without. There's no like.
I need to actually read these first. Yeah.
Is the Christmas update gonna suck? Yes. Because if it's not matchmaking, they are too busy working on matchmaking to make a good Christmas update, and they haven't tried to siphon the community to make it for them yet. So I think.
Or they'll add a couple of new items, and it might be interesting.
Also, Overwatch stream.
Hey, were you here? You were here like an hour and a half ago when this was like a What did popcorn
was.
vacuum stream?
A vacuum. One of the-
We were talking about like somebody brought up Ice Age. Somebody brought up the movie Ice Age and that it was like the best movie they've ever seen. Which one of you fucking clowns?
You're doing
Ice
it
Age?
right now.
Ice Age.
Love Ice. I just had to
We never.
name drop Ice Age.
What a good movie, Ice Age.
Oh my god.
I brought it up right now. That's the point.
Corey Psycho, do you think there should be a map? Do you think there should be map bans in competitive Overwatch? I asked due to the most successful FPS esports CS:GO having map bans. Overwatch clearly has different layouts on their maps more than just the objective stylings, which can affect how certain teams play. That's the first question. Here's another question after this.
Me and you actually had a long conversation about maps, and I
Yeah.
think it's too early. There's not enough maps to cut maps. When you have Counter-Strike and you can go on the Steam Workshop or you can do whatever and download hundreds of maps, and they put new maps in every like 3 months because of the new gun passes and everything.
Yeah.
You can do that. You have that liberty. I don't think at this stage of Overwatch they should let maps be banned.
Me too. I think they should make everybody play it. And we had O-Played on last week, and O-Played was very... I mean, I'm not sure if he was talking about most of the top tier players, but definitely his opinion was that the double objective maps are just... I mean, they allow for gimmicks to happen and really kind of cheesy things, I guess, cheesy strategies for attacking. And I think that's fine. Like, I'd like to see that. You know, I think that's okay.
It's too early to
Yeah.
start saying we don't want to play this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I disagree very much. Though in the long term, yes, because banning maps, like if one team's really good at this map and that team's not good at that map, and like there is a good meta for banning things, but there's not enough to do that right now.
Not yet. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
you know, it might be interesting later.
Yeah, definitely.
But-
Another question: how would people feel about character bans, even though they're in game character switches? I believe this would allow for a bit more versatility, and require people to have more than just a couple set squads to run the include OP character of the time. I like that.
Okay, I ban Mercy. Okay, I ban Lucio. No one can get healed.
Well, let's say they just do.
It's
You can only
dangerous.
ban.
Well, now you're
How they
getting
do it.
weird.
Well, what if they say you can ban one from each of the categories, even though the categories are just like more guidelines? But let's just theoretically.
What if you
let's
just
just
lock
say-
in?
Oh, well,
What if you have to
the
lock
game
in
is
here?
really about these 21 heroes, and we love hero switching. The game's about hero switching. You can't play this one. I don't like hero banning. I like having maybe a 1 character limit or a 2 character limit. I think that's good for the long-term health of the game. But again, too early to even say that. So I'm happy with things being experimented with.
Cool.
I
Maybe
like
you
the
could have a tournament
idea.
with bans. Experiment.
I like the idea of locking in. I do. And I mean, we've talked about this before. A lot of times when you play Overwatch, you already are kind of locking in a hero anyways, because not very many people switch off the characters they're playing unless it's between rounds or after multiple times of them dying or doing a certain thing. When I play a game of Overwatch and I pick Zenyatta, for instance,
Yeah.
I'm going to play Zenyatta for a
Long
majority
time.
of
That's
that.
an issue too. Is if you pick Zenyatta, your whole team is okay. We have a healer.
We have
No
a
one
healer.
will switch to a healer. You are Zenyatta. You can't do anything unless you're like, okay, I'll switch to Lucio. Like that's the best you can do. Usually, if you're a tank, you feel like you're stuck with it in a lot of games that happen.
But a lot of times when you play, you're almost, this is what I feel like doing right now, and this is what I'm going to do. So, I mean, you know what? Sometimes you just don't have the twitch shooting, and you don't want to play an offensive class. Sometimes you don't want to be the guy holding the shield up. Sometimes you do. I want to play Reinhardt. I want to be very defensive. I want to help. I want to support. And you don't want to switch off that. You want to play like the defensive characters. Sometimes you just want to do that. And
I think what you're seeing too is a lot of the people that aren't switching characters are playing the characters that don't need to be switched, which could also be
Right.
looked at.
Yeah.
McCree is always really good. He got nerfed. He's not good at long range anymore, but the maps don't often call for long range. Mercy isn't going to switch because you'd lose.
Yeah.
And the people that aren't switching are the people that are on the really good characters. They don't need to.
All right, well, guys, let's take a quick break because Minstrel is ready to go. I guess they just finished their map or their match, and they need to get these cams going. So I don't want you guys to be watching that. We'll be right back, guys.
BRB.
BRB.